Welcome to our meditation time. I would invite you to just settle. Whatever that looks and feels like for you, do that. If it means that you are seated and your shoulders are relaxed and your eyes are closed, then do that. If it means that you are lying down and maybe staring at a spot on the ceiling or on the wall, and that feels right, then do that. The most important thing you can do in this practice is make it for you. Adjust the body, lessen the distractions, find some comfort, and then you're ready to connect to your breath. And just start to notice it, watching that inhale. Notice how you feel as you breathe in, and then watch the exhale and notice how it feels to just release, just to let go. And then again, just watching that inhale, noticing every part of it, and notice how it turns into the exhale as you release. And now let's breathe together. So everybody together, take a slow, deep breath in. Just feel the expansion of what that inhale offers. And then slowly, slowly sigh it out. And then a big, expansive inhale. And again, slowly sigh it out. One more time together, breathing in and breathing out. And then from there, find your rhythm. As much as you found comfort for your body, now find comfort in this breath. And as we're journeying through these Yoga Sutras, we're going to pause today at Yoga Sutra 2, number 16. Still in this chapter on our practice, our sadhana, as we say it in Sanskrit. But 2:16 is this amazing little aphorism that if I look in all the different translations that I have of the sutras, I find very little commentary on this one. And I think because the message is so clear. It says, first in Sanskrit, hayam dukkam anagatam. And dukkam is this word that we see often when we're reading in Sanskrit, and it's the word for suffering, the word for pain, the word for things that cause unpleasantness. And this sutra says, pain that hasn't happened yet is avoidable. Pain that hasn't happened yet is avoidable. And so while I look in all these translations, all these commentaries that I have, sometimes there are pages written about one line, one sutra. But there's very little written about this one. Because there's not a lot to try to infer. It's very clear. If the pain hasn't happened yet, it can be avoided. And so what's he trying to tell us? What about our practice is he referring to? I believe it's about our worry. It's about our what-if way of living. There's a lot in these sutras about this idea of permanence and impermanence and pain and pleasure and avoidance and releasing and all these things that we experience in our everyday life. But I feel quite certain that as Patanjali wrote this really simple statement with just 3 Sanskrit words, what he was telling us is stop borrowing trouble. And I find it amazing that of all the things that I can remember in my mom's 60 years on earth, I'm sure there were many things that she told me across the years that I had her. But that statement is one that I heard again and again and again. Quit borrowing trouble. And she didn't know about the Yoga Sutras, but if she did, I think we would find that what she was telling me was the same thing that Patanjali said nearly 3,000 years ago. Why do we worry about pain, about trouble, about heartache that hasn't even happened? And how much of this present moment incredibleness do we miss out on? Because we're already thinking of the what ifs. You have a beautiful relationship with someone, And you miss out on the beauty of it because you're always worried about losing that person. You have a great job that you enjoy, where you feel like you're making a difference, but you can't really fully embrace it because you keep thinking something's going to happen that'll make it go away. And there's so many examples that I could offer, but human nature, for some reason, likes to borrow trouble. We find it really difficult to rest in this present moment, allowing it to be, and not robbing us of the joy of this present moment by constantly thinking of the what ifs. What's coming next? When will the other shoe drop? But again, I don't think it's an accident that there's very little commentary on this one because it's so simple. I think if he could have put it into one word, he would have said stop. Just stop. Stop borrowing worry. Stop fretting over pain that you haven't even felt yet. Stop grieving over a loss that hasn't even come. If these things come, then feel the emotions, go through the process of whatever you need to go through, and live. But don't grieve when nothing has been lost. And as I sat with this sutra, knowing that it was the one that was coming for today, I just paused and just reflected for a moment of how many lost moments have I had in my life because of worry? How many things did I miss out enjoying because I was so afraid that they would be taken from me? And I don't think that I'm alone in that. There's a quote by Mark Twain that says, I've had a lot of worries in my life. Most of them never happened. And he says it just so kind of tongue-in-cheek of this idea of, I wasted a lot of energy. I wasted a lot of thought, a lot of time, because most of those worries never came to be. So why do we do it? Why do we rob ourselves of this present moment, the incredibleness of it, by worrying about things that haven't happened yet? And so what I'd like us to do for these few minutes that we have of reflection and exploration and sitting with our thoughts is to think about trust. Do you trust? Do you trust enough that you can just be in this moment right here, breathing in this breath, enjoying your life, thinking about your blessings, thinking about the things for which you are so grateful? Can you give more energy to that than to the other side? Do you trust that the goodness of this moment really is good? Do you trust that that relationship that means so much to you is your relationship? It's not something that you have to cling to and worry about losing. You cannot predict the future and you cannot control behaviors and circumstances, but in this moment, can you trust that it's good? Can you trust that the job that you have and the impact that you're making is the job that you have and the impact that you are making, and just trust that? And again, so many examples, so many things that we could apply to this idea, but the question comes down to, can you trust in this present moment? As that next breath fills our lungs, the present moment is being given to us. Can we trust that this is good right here, right now, and not worry unnecessarily about moments that haven't even come? We each have ways that we've applied this idea of worry. And each of us is probably thinking, yeah, but then that worry did come true. But what I would tell you is that the worry doesn't keep it from happening or cause it to happen. All it does is rob you of the peace of this moment. The abiding peace of this moment will abide if you will just let it. Can you trust? And so what I would invite us each to do is notice where you are for meditation right now. If you are seated, feel that seat, that chair, that cushion beneath you. If you're lying down, feel the support of whatever is underneath your back, supporting your head. Do you trust that that thing is going to hold you right where you are? That chair, that bed, that couch, that cushion? Or do you move your body around, just constantly trying to change because you're worried that the seat won't hold? And I know that sounds silly because most of us sit and don't even think about it. Y'all, if we can trust in a chair or in a couch or in a cushion without even giving it a second thought, doesn't this incredible present moment deserve our trust as well? And so let's just pause. First, just be open to seeing what comes across your mind. What are the things that you're worried about right now? What are the things that are taking up space in your heart and your energy and your mind? And then are you willing to let them be and come back to this present moment? And so let's just pause. Breathing into this moment, trusting in that seat to hold you up wherever you are, and trusting that this moment in and of itself is good. And we don't need to worry about the moments that haven't come. And as you continue to breathe, just noticing whatever came up for you personally. For as many examples as I could give, we each have our things that pull on our heart, that pull on our mind, and cause us to worry. And so as you become aware of those, just start there. Start with awareness. We don't rise up from a meditation spot or moment worry-free, but we do become acutely aware of the things with which we are spending an enormous amount of time and energy worrying about things that haven't happened. So just be aware. Just watch your thoughts in the coming days and see how often do you leave the present moment and apply that worry, borrow that trouble, as my mom used to say, in moments that are so far into the future. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel bad about it. Just notice it. The greatest gift of this practice is truly not the peace. It is the awareness. Because without the awareness, we can't possibly find the peace. So cultivate the awareness in the coming days. Think about these 3 simple words in Sanskrit: hayam, dukkham, anagatam. Pain that has not yet come is avoidable. Let's begin to practice the avoiding right now. As you become aware, avoid the worry. Trust in this present moment. See how good it is. Be grateful for it. And let that worry go. Namaste.